Okay, guys. So today we're going to talk about a theory. This theory is called elaboration likelihood model, and I believe this theory is a very classic theory in the field of psychology. But before I talk about this theory, I'm going to ask you guys to imagine a scenario with me. So let's say you got a budget and you want to buy a car, and right now you are debating between two cars. And let's take a look at these two cars. The first car I got here for you is called Renault 5 Turbo 2. Looks like a bit kind of shitty. The other car looks very fancy. We all know it. It's Beetle, right? VW Beetle. So by just looking at the appearance of these two cars, do you have a preference? Have you made your mind which car you want to buy? I guess most of you probably would prefer this fancy and good-looking Beetle car because this car looks a little bit kind of, cheap and a little bit shitty. But let me show you some detailed information about these two cars' performance in next slide. And would you change your mind? So I'm gonna talk about some key automobile performance index, and let's take a look. Let's check out Beetle first. The first index I have here is the horsepower. So Beetle is not bad. The horsepower is 170. So this horsepower represents the unit of measurement of a car's power, right? So the larger this number is, the better the car performs. And this 0 to 60 miles per hour is measuring how much time does a car take to speed up from 0 to all the way to 60 miles per hour. And it takes Beetle about 7.5 seconds to speed up to this number, 60 miles per hour. And top speed for Beetle is 170 kilometers per hour. So the general performance is not bad for Beetle, but let's take a look at this Renault 5 Turbo 2. It has power slightly better, higher than Beetle, even though Beetle is pretty good. And for this second index, it only took 6.7 seconds for this Renault 5 Turbo 2 to speed up to 60 miles per hour. And top speed, it totally beat up Beetle. The top speed is the highest speed that this Turbo 2 can hit is 209 kilometers per hour. So after checking out this performance index, would you change your mind? Would you still make the decision purely based on their appearance? I guess some of you probably still prefer Beetle because it looks cute, it looks nice. But some of you may have changed your mind and prefer this Turbo 2 because Turbo 2 has much better performance compared with Beetle, assuming that they have the same price. You would prefer a car with better performance. Let me give you another scenario. So let's say you want to buy a router online. So the first thing you may want to do is type router in Amazon website. So this is the result after you put router in Amazon website. And you can see there are lots of options, but which one do you want to pick? Well, there are several cues helping you to make the final decision. Let's say you can rely on the ratings, right? And how many customers have bought it. And also the overall ratings. So we can see this first router got 4.5 stars, but this one only got 4 stars. And there are also some other cues we could use to, make the decision. Such as we consider there is a little label here, site best seller, and also this one is Amazon's choice. So we can see that on this website, on this web page, there are several cues helping the potential customers make the final decision, to make a wise decision. And probably you may want to check more details about this first router appeared on this website, and it's labeled as a bestseller on Amazon. So let's say you click in this router, and there are lots of descriptions in detail about this product, but most of them they are quite technical. How well it can function, how fast the speed is, etc. So again, we can see that when we decide to want to buy a product, there are several cues we could rely on to make the best decision. So my question is, what kind of cues are more reliable? So today we are gonna look at this elaboration likelihood model, and this model will give us an answer how to make the best decision, what kind of cues are more reliable, and how we process these cues, and how the information would affect our attitudes and decisions. Sorry, there is a typo effect. So let me talk about some basic information of this model. So this model was proposed by two scholars, Richard Petty and John Cacioppo. And this model was proposed in late 1970s. So essentially, this model is a dual process theory describing the change of attitude or how persuasion occurs. So the aim of this model was trying to explain different ways of processing some information, some stimuli in our environment, how these stimuli or why these stimuli they are used, and also their outcome, how they affect our attitude or even behavior change. So this is the basic information about this model. For exam, you don't need to remember the year or the authors. Your conceptual understanding about this model is more important. So let me dive into this model and discuss its details. So the first thing I want to explain is this word, elaboration. So by definition, elaboration refers to the extent to which a person carefully thinks about issue-relevant arguments contained in a persuasive message or communication. So basically, elaboration, this behavior, simply put, is how much, to what extent do you put effort into thinking through an issue or a situation. So this elaboration, this is a continuum. So let's say for an event, you could pay no attention. So in this situation, you have little or minimum elaboration involved. For example, some of students are sleeping during the class, so they have no cognitive or thinking effort put into this class. Or it could happen that you are listening to some message delivered by your instructor, but you are not paying full attention to it. For example, some of you guys are probably hearing what the professor is talking, but check your cell phone from time to time. So the lecture is just more like a background sound for you. You may not really put full attention to what the instructor is talking. But in this situation, you are doing better than this low elaboration. But still, we cannot say it is a full elaboration. But some other students, they may actively think about every single word, every single sentence delivered by the instructor. They devote a lot of thinking, they do lots of information processing, and we call this behavior high elaboration. So again, elaboration is to what extent do you put effort in thinking through an issue. And this is a continuum variable. So basically, you can kind of sit anywhere along this scale or spectrum, ranging from zero elaboration all the way to very high elaboration. Okay, so after we understood this elaboration, this term, we're gonna look at the general picture of this elaboration likelihood model. So this elaboration likelihood model, or sometimes we call it ELM for short. This ELM proposes two major routes of message processing, which may lead to persuasion. The first route we call it a central route, and second one we call it a peripheral route. And which route you are taking is decided by the level of elaboration. So again, which route people may take when they process information is decided by how much thinking, how much effort people put into the issue, into the situation. Okay, so in this video, we have discussed this the basic framework of this ELM. And in next video, I'm gonna specifically talk about what is central route and what is peripheral route.